That's right, kids. This episode of Co-op is brought to you by GoDaddy.com, the United States Air Force, and Squarespace.
Wait, there's an arcade around here somewhere?
Yeah, seriously, dude, this is awesome. You're gonna love this.
No way.
Dude, it's like a rainy Tuesday. It's gonna be the perfect day to go to an arcade.
All right, fuck it. Let's play some Street Fighter.
Dude, it's gonna be awesome. You guys are gonna love this.
There's no Street Fighter here.
There might be Fighter.
Old.
The thing I like about you most is you'd run away with me. So pack your bags and your shotgun too. We might run into zombies. We're always down for that co-op multiplayer action. We're always down. We're so down. We're so down, we're so down for co-op. We're so down for the co-op action.
To be honest, I feel a little bit weird talking about this game right now because we didn't see all that much of it, and we're gonna do a full review segment of it, no doubt, because it's new Super Mario Brothers. You know, how do you not talk about the whole thing?
Right.
So
Yeah,
we're definitely
especially
gonna
it's
do
the first time on Wii. I mean,
exactly. We're gonna do a full-on segment on it, but I just thought it might be kind of cool to just talk about like some of the quick things that we saw that were surprises to me because I haven't really been following it that closely.
I mean, I'm excited because it's essentially like Super Mario Bros. 4 in that it takes like the Super Mario Bros. 3 overworld,
Yeah.
the whole progression system, and it puts it on a console on your television. You know, it's really fun, and best of all, it's multiplayer now,
Right.
which is crazy.
And we did get to play some 4-player, and it got pretty chaotic. I'm wondering if it'll get better once you've got people that are used to the controls and they're used to working together. Because that was one of the cool things about the new suits is that some of the suits were actually clearly geared for co-op play, like the P-Hat suit. You jump up, you shake the Wiimote, and you spin to get a little glide. But if you pick somebody up, and then you jump and you spin and you do that, then you can toss them.
Well, not only that, they can jump off of your second jump, right?
Every character sort of doubles as a platform
Right.
as well, you know, because I mean, a lot of times you do it by
Well, there's a
accident,
bounce
but it would
pad.
work. Yeah, you know, you'd see a guy jump and then you jump right after him to hop off his head and then get to a higher platform.
And then the other new thing we saw, speaking of platformers, was the ice flower.
Yes.
Which was really effective in the underwater stage that they showed us because you could just freeze fish, they would float to the top, and then, oh look, now I've got a platform. It's no surprise that there's going to be a ton of secrets in this game and that people are going to, you know, just like when we were kids, we're going to spend like all day trying to find every single secret, every single hidden block in every level. But they added a cool thing for co-op play, whereas if one person goes down a pipe, everybody goes down the pipe. If one person finds the secret vine flower, then everybody goes up the secret vine.
And that works with the power-ups too. I mean, in the overworld, if you drag like a mushroom to one player, it gives it to all players. If you collect 99 coins in the game, every player receives a 1-up. You know, it's like it's all tied into one game so that it doesn't affect you negatively if like one person is receiving all the power-ups. You can compete, you know, if one person hits a question block and it gives you like 4 mushrooms, you know, you can run around and steal all those mushrooms, preventing basically cock blocking every other player from getting a power up if you so chose to, you know.
I'm not playing with you.
See, that's exactly the thing with this game is I really enjoyed the idea of playing through this co-op. I played Little Big Planet co-op, and I thought that was a lot of fun. So I'm excited to play a platformer with friends. But as much as there's an opportunity to help everyone, there's just as much opportunity to grief everybody and kind of be a pain in the ass the whole time. And so I've been thinking a lot, like, okay, who do I want to play this game with? I know I don't want to play with Cesar, because I know Cesar is just going to want to mess with the game the whole time. So he's going to be knocking me off edges and like throwing me into things, into enemies, just to see what it does.
You can do that. It seems like the stuff you can do is a lot like Super Mario Brothers. You can bounce, you can hit down on blocks just like in New Super Mario Brothers, but you can also pick up objects like it's similar
just like in Super Mario
just
Brothers
like in Super Mario Brothers 2. Yeah, and you can pick up other players and throw them onto stuff or other.
So it is like a combination of all of everybody's favorite Mario elements, and you know, who knows if the game is if it'll hold up in multiplayer through the whole game. I'm really looking forward to the single player, and I guess we'll just see how it pans out in a couple weeks when it's released.
Yeah.
If you want to make an impact online, GoDaddy.com has what you need. .com names as low as $1.99, plus world-class hosting, fast and easy website builders, and much more. Plus, enter code CO6 when you check out and save an additional 20% off of a 1, 2, or 3-year hosting plan. Some restrictions apply. See site for details and get your piece of the internet at GoDaddy.com.
With a Bali sharpshooter, we've got like the precursor to FPS. Check it out.
I wish I was big.
Well, here's Santa Cruz. I hear like you indie guys love this beach town.
Oh man, we are all about being indie and being beach bums. And, you know, that's really what it's all about. Yeah, well, would you like to see it?
Yeah,
would you like the grand tour?
Yeah.
So welcome to our office. Let me give you the tour. We've got over here, we've got the kitchen.
Impressive.
Yes. Just down the hall from that, we've got the lounge or the waiting room. When we're working and we're too busy to meet with you, you can wait there. The conference room, in fact, is just here. And then we have a game room, which is pretty good for an independent studio. We can actually afford to have a dedicated game room.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool. And then just down the hall that way is Mike's office.
How do you guys communicate to each other over such vast distances?
Well, there's a new technology called instant messaging that you can type in your computer and then, yeah, you may have used it. Yeah. So that's how we communicate.
Hey, Mike!
That works too. So he's in the West Wing, and then just down the hall we've got Chris's office here.
Cool.
Yeah, Chris has the best view in the house. The swimming pool out there with screaming kids, which is a very nice ambiance. Yeah, and then here's my office. And
You got a corner office too, man. We're all executives here too.
Yeah, that's right. So
That's true, yeah.
corner offices all around. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Your classic video game archive down here.
Yeah.
Clearly the first Bit.Trip game was inspired by the one on the bottom left there.
Yeah.
A little bit of Pong.
Here.
What about the other Bit.Trip games? Are there any that you can point to as specific, you know, like straight shot cousins to?
Yeah,
the other
definitely.
Bit.Trip games?
Bit.Trip Core was kind of inspired by a 2600 game called Cosmic Arc. Do you know it?
No, I don't.
It's totally awesome. You're in a UFO and you're shooting asteroids up, down, left, and right, kind of thing. And so we kind of use that as inspiration. And then for Void, a lot of the inspiration came from shooters, like I mentioned. There's a little bit of an Ikaruga vibe in there, even though you're not switching colors and stuff. And then our next game is inspired heavily by a game that's here, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Our most recent game is Bit.Trip Void.
Cool.
It's the third in the Bit.Trip series, and it's kind of like the hump of Commander Video's story. It's the last game that's going to be really super abstract. Bit.Trip Void is sort of an exercise in figuring out how greedy you are, or risk versus reward, which is cool. So as you collect the black beats, you gain more potential points, but if a white beat hits you, it destroys all of your potential points and you reset to your small size. But if you pop it yourself and shrink down, then you bank all those points. And so it's basically how far can you push the limits before either failing or really succeeding. I don't know, that's one of my favorite things in like bullet hell shooters. It's like they throw a power up out there, not because they want you to get powered up, it's because they want you to die trying to get it. You know, and so it's that same kind of idea with Void. One of the things for me that I think is really neat about Void is that it explores storytelling from like a brand new perspective. It's mostly based on color and how the movement of the color affects your mood and that kind of thing.
Are you studying the visuals here, or are they just because it's cool screenshots?
No, these are actually what Mike will mock up fake screenshots of what we think the game will eventually look like, so we can kind of look at those and play the crusty looking prototype, and that's what these are.
Well, these are the modes. So Hyper, Mega, Super, Ultra. And what we try to do is get a good feel of all the modes before we make the games. The games are made in Maya, all 3D, but I make these in Photoshop. And things changed. Obviously, Void is completely different from this, but Chris has a nice display over here of all of Core's modes that we wanted before we made the game.
Cool.
Now, we rely on Maya heavily for our games just because it's such a good interface between the artist and the game. You know, the turnover is very quick.
Programming. Yeah, programming. Which is kind of weird because everyone always asks me, who are not a programmer, like, what? So what do you do? Like, Mike makes pretty pictures, Alex makes it fun, and what exactly do you? And I try
You just get a paycheck, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I do that and just kick back and drink some wine. But
not bad.
And seriously, it's kind of like it's everything else. You know, it's pretty much it's the glue that brings everything together. All the AI that makes like all the beats kind of move around and do all their different things. I have to actually type all that out. Have some for you on display there if you want to see how Bit.Trip works. It's actually the innards of the level 2 boss beat.
My programming skills are nearly non-existent. So what do you program in?
So all the Bit.Trip games are done in C++.
Oh, okay. There you
It's
go.
actually very bare bones. Like, I'm not a fan of using any fancy technology or anything like that. So I've been a C++ guy for a number of years. So.
Oh shit.
Definitely.
I
have a little chunk of code that we like to affectionately call Bill, named after Bill Gilden, who's an inspiration to us all. Nice. He's the only one Gaijin Games to actually get a service award, 4-year service award, which is kind of weird since we haven't even been in business for 4 years yet, only about 1. But he really just sets the standard for our company, and so that's why I was trying to name our engine. Right. Just, look to him.
There you go, Bill, the engine.
That's right.
Good job, Bill.
That's pretty good.
Special thanks to the Air Force for sponsoring this episode of Co-op.
Must have come up the river during flood season and gotten stuck. Let's check it out, huh?
Wait. Something about this feels kind of hinky.
Since Uncharted 2 was coming out, I decided I was going to give Uncharted 1 another playthrough. It was fun, and it reminded me that the story is really great. The characters, especially Nate, Elena, and Sully, are just like really well done. The ending surprised me because I thought Sully was going to turn on me, and he totally doesn't. And so that's just really exciting and fun. But it reminded me that the game is really a combat game. There's not that much climbing in the grand scheme of things. I'd go into a room, fight a bunch of guys, like think it was over, have more guys jump in, have to fight them, think it was over, have more guys jump in, run to the next room, and the same process would repeat.
Yeah.
So Uncharted 2, the storytelling is better, the characters are better, the pacing is better. It doesn't start as a shooter really. It starts as a climbing game, which is again what I really wanted from the first Uncharted was more of the sort of Tomb Raider-esque exploration.
More Tomb Raider, less gears.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It was actually the opposite.
They throw in these climbing to make sure that they break up the climbing and the shooting, but they're not doing it in such a way that it's like contrived where it's like, oh, there's just ruins here.
It's not climbing, shooting, and even if it is, it doesn't feel like that because of these different setup.
What's the matter? Is it locked?
It's stuck. You know what? I think it's blocked from the other side.
Stand back.
Almost.
There we go. Try it now.
Okay. Oh. Now I'm impressed. Oh no! Hey, we got company!
One of the things I love about this game too is that you eventually make your way into these temples that are just gorgeous, with crazy statues and gold everywhere, just intricately detailed, even to the point where you can walk directly up to it and stare at the texture, and it's just like, wow, this is really ridiculously good looking. They're not like as deep as say a Zelda dungeon or something like that, but it's more like there's one major puzzle to solve in each one and a bunch of like micro puzzles that lead to solving that one major puzzle. And they're usually one sort of giant space, and they can be completed in between 15 and 20 minutes. So you end up like getting in there, really enjoying that space, enjoying the puzzle that you're doing, and then like you're already out to some new looking piece of art that is just beautiful to look at.
You're there on the ground floor of the jungle level, and you're looking at this really detailed jungle. It looks wet, it looks vibrant, and then you look up and you're, wow, that's a tree that wouldn't look out of place, and wow, it's kind of that low res and that low quality. But how often are you looking straight up the entire time?
Right.
So use your resources where they are best spent, and they always do.
Wait a minute. Wait, could this be what Marco Polo was talking about?
Kid, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
In his journal, he wrote that the worthy seeker would be given a golden passport to conquer obstacles on the journey to Shambhala.
So, what, this is it?
Look, that's all really interesting, but where the hell is it a passport to?
Well, maybe this map would help.
The characters look great in Uncharted 1 already, but the ones in 2 just look insanely good. I mean, they're cut, they're scratched, they're dirty, they're wet, they're not wet.
Covered in snow.
Yeah, and there are a lot of games like this that really do end up feeling like they're just coated in Vaseline, like everything's a bit too shiny. And even in Uncharted 2, there are moments where you're like, yep, this character looks too shiny or this piece of the world looks too shiny. But more often than not, I was surprised when something looked correct rather than looking incorrect. The specularity, the shimmeriness on these walls looks just like if this place had been drained of water a minute ago.
Right.
And not like it's still dripping with water, and not like it's dried too much.
They do have a real appreciation for the subtle things that make something enjoyable, or that make something real, or that make something believable.
Hey, what's the big hurry? Hello? These are snow boots, not track shoes.
One of our favorite parts that we talked about was the village, when you go to that Tibetan village.
Where there's no combat the first time through.
Yeah, they encourage exploration without it having to be a direct reward through combat. He says clever things to all the villagers, and every time you go up to a scenic point, he has something else to say.
Yeah.
Does anyone speak English? I got it. Follow you. Go somewhere. Nice boots. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Okay, those are mountains.
The dialogue everywhere in this game is great. Little things like when you're standing on the building and they're teaching you that you can do the move that pulls a guy down. He's like, there's a guy above you, there's a guy above you. And you do your melee attack that pulls him off the edge. He's like, there's a guy below you, there's a guy below you. It's like, shut up, did you just say that? Oh man.
And those moments
great.
are peppered throughout the whole game. It has the best banter I've ever heard in a game.
Yeah.
And that's because the characters are so solid and well written to begin with.
Huh. You know, it's actually kind of romantic down here.
All right. Where's the chocolates and flowers?
You never were a chocolate and flower kind of girl.
Oh, you know me so well.
This game, like the last Uncharted, is one of the few games that I feel does an AI-controlled co-op partner that is, you know, a believable human for the most part. They're
effective without dominating the situation.
And they say clever things. It's fun. It makes it more enjoyable to go through your single-player adventure. At one point in the game, you get a co-op partner named Tintin, and he doesn't speak the language you speak, or you don't speak his language, rather. You get to see Drake and he communicating as best they can with like gestures and noises. I mean, that's awesome. That they put you with a character who you can't understand, and you guys have to like survive together for a really long time.
What you got there? What? Yeah, good luck, Belle. I mean, that's almost impossible to... Oh, you did it. Nice. Sure, let's just swing across on the 70-year-old rope.
One way that this game is far evolved over 99% of the competition is that its female characters are strong, they're believable, they're every bit as valuable to the story and to the character and to the characterization of the game as a whole as Drake is.
Yep. Now I'm going down there alone.
Nate.
Wait, just listen. You never listen. Meanwhile, you're gonna go over there, snag us one of those nice looking
4x4s.
4x4s. You're gonna be the wheelman. I'll sneak in, I'll grab Chloe, you come in right behind us.
With the getaway car.
With the getaway car.
Yep, got it. Got it?
I got it.
Go!
That's such an unfortunate rarity in gaming, and Naughty Dog deserves huge props for having female characters that are real people and that are strong.
Never should have got you into this mess.
You didn't. I got here on my own.
Nah. I mean, you know, the rest of it.
Oh, we knew what the stakes were. Okay, so, what do we do now?
Because all of these characters are action movie archetypes without being stereotypes, except for the big bad guy enemy. You know, he's the only one that's really stereotypical. But everybody else is constantly surprising you because you approach a situation, because you've been trained by your action movie heritage to think of a situation as going to play out in a certain way. That's what you expect. But they know that too, and so they play it out completely differently.
Right.
And it's that much more pleasing, and the characters are that much more real.
Nothing is more exciting than being surprised.
It still is like predictable in a way that is okay.
Yeah.
Like you go and see like an old Indiana Jones movie, you can still tell like so and so is a bad guy, so and so is gonna do this, and that's okay, and it still makes it great, and it's still like this really great story.
It's by no means the first time I've seen it in a game, but I mean I really appreciate like the non-linear storytelling as well. The opening sequence where you start on this like wrecked train to like hop out of it, be able to be injured, which makes you walk slower, which gives you, the player, more time to like stand and look around at these crazy environments. I mean, it's a really moving sequence. And then, you know, later when you finally get to a train yard and like it didn't even click right away. I'm like, oh wait, train yard. Oh, this is the fucking train. Oh man, that's pretty awesome.
Let's have Chloe in the front car.
It's definitely the best train sequence I have ever seen in a video game.
Yeah.
I just stood on the top of the train looking, watching its shit go by.
Yeah, because you expect it to be some sort of like trick, but it's not a
like
trick. It's a
like
real 3D space that you're.
Yeah, I expect it to
through.
be like the Flintstones, where the same buildings go by every few seconds, you know. But it's not like that at all.
And the other vehicular sequence, you actually get to platform between trucks as you're doing the shooting, and it's not just you locked to a turret. You can take cover and stuff. I mean, I just thought that was a really great way to do a moving vehicular sequence and have it feel dynamic and fun and like not like a turret sequence.
And Uncharted 2 also, I had a hard time finding the right words to articulate it, but I mean, the gunplay is like way better.
Yeah,
like,
it just
I mean,
feels
it's way
better.
tighter. Like, and before it was like really hard to hit a guy where you wanted to, at least in my opinion, playing the first one, you know. And in the second one, it feels like so much more like, oh, this, now they've learned, like, oh, this is exactly what makes like a third-person shooting game like really good.
I still find it interesting though that it doesn't have any aim assist. Most first-person and third-person shooters do these days. You know, like I go from playing Firefight and Halo, where I'm used to having my aim assist, to playing Uncharted multiplayer or Uncharted single player, and surprised that I don't miss it. My only real minor complaint about the game is that when I think top-tier animation, I think Assassin's Creed. And I realized that Assassin's Creed, the whole game, basically was the animation, you know, and everything else in the environments in Uncharted 2 are so cohesive. They all place you in there so effectively that when you see little animation jumps and clips that don't look quite right,
it makes them like way more glaring
Right.
than it otherwise would be. Like, one of the things I didn't like about the original was how many bullets guys would take to die.
Yeah.
And in the second one, they alleviate that. Like, I feel like guys die from like a relatively, I mean, not realistic, right? But a good amount of bullets to make it fun. Then they'll have the occasional boss fight that they throw in there, where all of a sudden a guy can take X amount of million bullets, and it like totally kills like what they've done for me.
In the stealth area at the beginning of the game, where you're executing the guys, making your way past the fountain, and in this kind of like giant open area, you have to take out a whole bunch of guards. If you go one way around the fountain, then it doesn't cue your AI character to go with you, and that ruins the end part of the level. Like, we ended up playing that stage 17 times.
It's like one spot where there's like a right way to do it.
Yeah, they could patch that and fix it. Put out a little software update that makes them a bit cleaner, then those parts won't be as frustrating.
Damn it.
While I do believe that Uncharted 2 is one of the pinnacle gaming experiences that we've had so far, it is not a perfect game. The controls aren't perfect. You know, I find myself hopping to places I didn't want to hop, or getting stuck in cover that I didn't want to get stuck in.
No game's perfect.
Exactly. I notice that sometimes in single player, but I notice more in multiplayer because the multiplayer can be so hectic. The co-op levels, they're so much fun. Like, they have separate entire co-op levels with objectives that they almost feel like adjuncts to the story. Like, here's what happened in between these two places in our story, you know?
Or it's like
a retelling of the same story.
Alternate reality version of it, or something like that.
And they're so great, and they're so well done.
I mean, it has all the best parts of Uncharted gameplay, essentially, but you get to do them with a co-op partner. I wish there were more stages, or that the 3 stages had a little bit more variety in terms of the way they played out. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they had some variations.
Yeah, enemy changes or variations, that sort of thing. I've actually really enjoyed the multiplayer in this game, even from simple deathmatch to all of the objective modes, King of the Hill, in all of its variations, and especially the plunder mode, which is essentially capture the flag, except for you get to throw around a gold statue. Just the ability to throw things reminds you that you're in a game where with jumping and climbing, which is the key difference between something like Gears of War and this. I mean, it really does. It makes the levels, the stages feel more vertical. It gives you more options. They can hide cool weapons in different places, and it's a lot of fun.
I got it! Score!
They are fun, but for me, definitely like the lasting sort of gameplay comes from either the cooperative levels, because you still earn money to buy upgrades,
right?
Or from the survival mode,
the arena.
Yeah, like its version of horde mode.
Right.
Like I think that is so fun. Like I even enjoy it more than horde mode. Right. In horde mode, it's the whole battle usually ends up being like the one spot that everyone knows. Oh, this is the good place to hold
it down.
Whereas
firefights even like that too.
In firefights like that, to some degree, yeah. But this one, because of the fact that you can all jump around together, it's more just like where you're going to be at the time until you get overwhelmed, and then you're going to all monkey around up to some other new spot and hold out from there. Like just that verticality part of it and being able to climb makes it like so much more, so much cooler.
One thing I was really surprised about, I sort of had heard about it, but I didn't really think I'd use it much, is actually the machinima mode. Now, I don't make machinima, I don't watch machinima, so it shouldn't appeal to me at all. It records a save film of every multiplayer game you play, like Halo, and you can go back to the theater and watch it. You can actually start a multiplayer game in machinima mode, which gives you access to any of the characters, and you can change like whether or not they're walking with their stealth animation or their tense animation or any of these number of things. You can put on a headset and they'll actually lip sync to you when you talk. Now, it doesn't record that into the save film, but you could write your dialogue ahead of time and dump in the proper lines at the right time. But even more fun is that when you go back and watch that film, there's this cinema mode where you have tons of control over camera angles, the speed of playback, and then even things like color correction, depth of field, wide angle lenses. Like you can really go in there and tweak the lighting. I mean, it's really, really super powerful. And because the game looks as good as it does, if I was a machinima maker, I would at least be experimenting with these awesome tools that they gave you. In fact, I think I'm going to experiment with them. Wouldn't expect to actually release anything, but I hope that I do get to watch some cool Uncharted machinima, because it seems like a really fun, powerful tool that no one's talking about. This game reminds me, and it's partially because of the things that are so super smart about it, like the writing and the characters, the locales you go to, and the end of the game, the main boss reminds you that you've killed like 500 people over the course of this game as Nathan Drake. Someday I hope that we'll get to play games that are as fun and engaging moment to moment as Uncharted 2, that aren't just me as an avatar running through and killing people with guns.
Right.
And there are moments in Uncharted, like the scene when you get to walk around the Tibetan village, that seem like they work in that way. Yeah. Not quite interactive enough there, but there are moments where it's like, it reminds me that, hopefully one day we'll get there.
Wait for Heavy Rain.
Yeah, exactly. But for now, as far as shooting games go, it's a pretty darn fun shooting game and pretty mature. It's in the dark though. It's like it hurts my eyes a little bit. It's a bit too bright.
It's a little straining a little.
Oh, too dark, dude. Split the difference.
A little bit in the middle.
Halfway.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
What's going on?
Okay.
Nice.
That looks colors. Yeah, Squarespace. Remember, you can change the colors in real time.
Try green. I like green.
Okay, we'll do
Green's
green.
my favorite color.
That's super cool.
Do blue.
Oh,
that's
all right.
cool.
You guys are changing the color. That's awesome. I think orange would be really good.
Orange? Yeah.
Really?
Orange bar logo.
How about like an olive or a mauve or something?
Yeah, they move up to like a yellow.
Oh,
hold it. Go back.
Dude,
go back.
It's like
No, go forward.
Go back.
Nice. Right there.
Go back.
We can make it
over.
like
Oh, make it brighter.
Yeah, look at the lights. Look at the color.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely.
Oh, that's good. Squarespace. Squarespace to change your site in real time. Gary 5TV looks kinda shitty to me until we put it on the Squarespace. Real time time changing up your website. Squarespace does it in real time. If you want your website to look like a disco, hit this shit up, baby, you will see it in real time. Squarespace.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, that was good talk,
guys.
Yeah. I kind of like that color.
Oh, right there. Perfect.
Looks pretty good.
I like it. All right. Let's do it. So this is like their gift shop, which is just a vending machine. The coolest thing about Musée Mécanique is that there's not really any, there's like one employee here who kind of like upkeeps the machines. I'm sure there are more total, but like on any given day, it's almost like there's no one here. There's a place where you can contribute. You just put some money in if you feel like, you know, you want to give back, but essentially this place is free. But they do have a vending machine gift shop here where you can buy like a lot of things, DVDs of the various like attractions.
Their famous patch of their famous Wonder Lady.
And my favorite thing here is the I work here badge, because there's never anyone here working. You could like just buy a badge for $5 and say that you work here. I would do it. They also have a book called Lost and Found, which has a bunch of because there's a photo booth, a classic photo booth here, and they take a bunch of the photos that have been left there over the years and assembled a book that you can buy for $20.
That's an awesome idea.
It's a really cool idea.
Jolly Jack. Could use a good laugh with Jolly Jack. Still going? Oh my god! Look at this guy! Oh man! Huh. Dude, it's really not funny anymore. Alright.